Introducing from Denver, Colorado, GoSpotcheck.
Hi, I'm Matt Talbot. I am CEO and co-founder of GoSpotcheck.
And I'm Samantha Holloway, CSO and co-founder.
GoSpotcheck is a B2B SaaS product that powers manual data collection for field teams. We take boring and tedious audits, surveys, and forms and make them easy, mobile, and reliable, saving field teams time and giving management better data.
Today we're going to tell you about the problem that our product solves and how our solution works through the eyes of one of our customers. Then we're going to tell you about the industry we're tackling and our larger business vision. And finally, we'll tell you about our company and how we've gotten to where we are today. To start, Matt's going to tell you about the problem and the solution.
Meet Brian Petrucci, field sales manager for knife and multi-tool brand Gerber Gear. Founded in 1939, Gerber makes an amazing line of products that are used by customers worldwide. Now, Brian and his team are responsible for getting their products on the shelf at key retail partners like Cabela's, REI, and Outdoor World. Their goal is to make sure Gerber looks great on the shelf and that these partners sell as much of their product as possible. In order to measure what's happening at these thousands of outlets across the country, Brian and his team collect key information on Gerber Gear's in-store performance. Metrics like display execution, price points, competitive mix, as well as their shelf position help management understand what's actually happening in the store. This is much different than anything a basic sales number can convey. Previously, Brian and his team were using all the standard methods: Excel for data collection and aggregation, PowerPoint for reporting, email for communication, and even paper forms. This was wasting hours every week and driving Brian crazy. He was constantly finding errors, broken formulas, and confusing data points that he couldn't verify. Further, aggregating the data was next to impossible because of inconsistencies and the lack of a structured database.
This is where our solution comes in. GoSpotcheck's SaaS product takes the complicated process of organizing employees' surveys, audits, and feedback forms and makes it extremely easy. We bring structure where there currently is none. By coupling a location-based mobile data collection application with a real-time reporting dashboard, we make the process quick and powerful. Here's how it works. Remember Brian? He can now create a simple mission on the GoSpotcheck web dashboard for his reps to complete on mobile devices at specific retail locations. He can choose from our 9 different task types, including photos and conditional question logic, to ensure they're collecting the right data. He doesn't have to worry someone will use an outdated template, forget their notes, or forget to collect a vital piece of information. Now let's look at the mobile app. Reps simply open up their app, and based on their GPS location, they see the missions they need to complete at their scheduled store visits. They now have the exact question set for each account at their fingertips. They can easily answer questions and take photos with a few simple taps, eliminating the need for any recap paperwork. They can even add contacts to sync back with their CRM, further reducing the risk of any stale data. This information is then aggregated in real time back on the web reporting dashboard for managers to take action on if necessary. They can filter by rep, response, region, etc., in order to identify potential opportunities or issues in the field. But this information isn't just nice to know. It's instrumental to the business process. Specifically critical are the geotagged and timestamped photos of in-store displays. For example, in one instance, Gerber noticed that their glass displays were stocked out consistently at one of their retail partners. The retailer didn't think this was a pervasive issue. Not until Gerber pulled up the GoSpotcheck dashboard and showed hundreds of pictures of stocked out glass displays across the country. Not only did the retailer up their order on the spot, but they told Gerber Gear they had never been provided such robust and powerful data from a vendor before. So to quickly recap how we've helped Gerber Gear, their reps now spend 50% less time on manual data collection on their store visit. Their management now has an actionable data set of field information, and they can provide this information to their retail partners, and it benefits the whole supply chain. But Gerber Gear isn't the only company that's been able to see an ROI with GoSpotcheck. Since we launched this product 1 year ago, we've worked with startups to Fortune 50 market leaders. Some of them are Panera, Danone, Norwegian Cruise Line, AB InBev, more recently PepsiCo, and Jim Beam brands. Our MRR has increased 24% month over month, and our average annual deal size of $29K is growing. As you can see from our early list of key customers, our go-to-market strategy for our first year was to build a great list of early first customers that have brand recognition. We believe that getting these early adopters on board can influence the market to move towards mobile-first solutions, including GoSpotcheck. We have a classic software-as-a-service business model. We charge on average $25 a user a month, billed up front, of course, and we have upsells for role-based access and advanced reporting.
But revenue isn't the only thing that's growing. Missions submitted, a key metric that we track to measure customer activity, has grown 5x since January of this year. This shows that not only can we sell the product to major businesses, we can drive engagement and activation after we've closed the deal. Further, we have a highly satisfied group of users. In fact, based on an industry average from over 800 software companies, our Net Promoter Score is 38% higher than the industry average. We can do this because our product is incredibly fast and easy to use, but also because we offer the best possible customer service to every customer, regardless of their size. Now that we've talked a bit about the problem and our solution, we'd like to go over the industry that we target and our vision for building a big business. Brian is part of a much larger industry, retail. In the US alone, retail employs nearly 30 million people, and it represents 30% of our GDP. It is an incredibly complex system with many different parties involved. And because of these complexities, retail execution has been a classic issue. Like the example with the Gerber Gear glass displays, issues are pervasive at retail, but this isn't trivial. In fact, over $20 billion is lost every year due to poor execution at retail, and this is exactly the type of problem that we can help solve with GoSpotcheck. So taking a step back and looking at the retail value chain, almost every player can be improved by implementing GoSpotcheck. However, we are initially focusing on manufacturers and wholesalers, i.e. the people that make the product or are responsible for getting it on the shelf. Within these groups, we focus on people that are based in the field. That's about 1.8 million reps, or in GoSpotcheck dollars, a $2 billion initial market opportunity. So what's changed? What's presenting this amazing opportunity that we can take advantage of? Well, quite simply, the growth of mobile is unlike anything we've ever seen before in computing. Looking at the stagnant sales of desktops and laptops over the past 10 years, compared to the rise of tablets and smartphones, you can see this is unprecedented. What this is doing is as enterprises are implementing these types of devices, it creates a tremendous opportunity for mobile-first enterprise software, which is exactly what we're building.
As we enter the market, it's important to understand how we fit in with the competitive landscape. As Matt mentioned, our product has all of the benefits of mobile that the business enterprise is just now taking advantage of. Constant connectivity, GPS awareness, photos, etc. But compared to other solutions, we're focusing on optimizing one business process, mobile data collection. This laser focus has allowed us to go deep into understanding the customer's problem and actually build a solution that goes across verticals because it's the actual workflow that we're streamlining. And streamlining this workflow is just the first step towards our larger business vision, which we've alluded to already, but which is creating real-time software that connects the whole retail supply chain. And we're already progressing towards this, as again we referenced the Gerber Gear example, as they were able to show their retail partner robust data that led to an increase in revenue for both parties.
Now that we've talked a bit about the industry that we target and our vision, we'd like to talk about our company and how we got to where we are today. The three founders came together about 3 years ago to start this company, and we work incredibly well together because of our complementary skill sets. Sam does an amazing job leading our sales and marketing efforts, and Joey runs a tight ship when it comes to product development. I focus on finance and strategy, and mostly just try to stay out of their way. We know that risk comes from not knowing what you're doing, so we focus every day on learning. We're lucky enough to be graduates of Techstars. We're part of the 500 startups community, and we work out of the co-working space Galvanize in Denver. We've surrounded ourselves with an amazing ecosystem of advisors, mentors, and investors that can help us learn. And we really think our greatest asset is our ability to learn quickly and apply our learnings to grow our business. We're going to be 100% honest. We really want to win this. We know that winning Blue Ocean can help accelerate our business and delay a future financing, which is critical. A SaaS business takes time and money to build, and an extra $250,000 would mean an incredible amount to GoSpotcheck. Further, we know exactly how we'll deploy the funds, and I can promise we'll be great stewards of the money, so we want you to be on this journey with us. Really, though, we know we wouldn't be here today if it weren't for the absolutely amazing team that we've built around the founders. We're incredibly lucky to work with each and every one of them, and we're proud to show up every day and build a great business with them. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to us, and we look forward to hearing your questions.
Thank you.
Start again on the revenue?
So I'll start. So it's a SaaS model. What's the integration with existing CRM or ERP look like to a client?
Yep. So we do that. We integrate with Salesforce. We've done that for the Fiskars group, which Gerber is a part of. Their account information is housed in their CRM, and that syncs with our system, as does all the contacts. So usually when we're getting that onboarded with a new client, we just scope it out with them to understand how they've set Salesforce up or whatever CRM they're using, and our awesome dev team makes it happen.
How standardized is this template versus customization? So with Gerber, how much work went into that, the development of that experience on the...
The great thing is the way that we built our product, it's really a framework. So that means that any customer can go in and create a completely custom mission. They basically create their forms, they give us the locations they want to visit, and tell us the people that need to be in the system. That means that if you look at some of our customers like Norwegian Cruise Lines, they can use it to do safety audits and checks on the boat, right? And Gerber Gear can do in-store execution display checks. Mm-hmm. So because of that flexibility in the way that we structured the product, it's highly customizable to the customer, but we run on one instance. We have absolutely no custom versions of GoSpotcheck running everywhere. It's all the exact same code base.
Okay. Thanks.
So everyone in this room has a smartphone. Everyone in this room's probably been in a sporting goods store. How do you plan, or can you use this technology? I'm sure it looks like I'm teeing you up, but
We've heard this one before.
Yeah. Well, I think you know the question.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Do you want to start? Yeah. It's a great question.
We have a long.
It's a good question. It's been asked 15 times.
We have a long. I assume you're asking if we're going to go towards crowdsourcing at some point. So we have a long history. We went through Techstars. The product that we've launched today that's doing so well is a year old, but Techstars was 3 years ago. And we came out of that, we did exactly that. We crowdsourced mystery shopping. And we had some great success. Starbucks, Coke, we had some good customers on board. But it was very project-based. It wasn't recurring revenue. You had to go, I do sales, so I had to go sell it again, right? And then we had to execute on it, and the consumers wanted to be happy and do stuff all the time. And it just wasn't ideal. And what happened was Panera Bread, one of our early customers, said, this is great. I have my own field team, though, and we need software. And we were like, well, that's interesting. That's a recurring revenue model, and let's go see if some other businesses would be interested. And we went and we did research, and it was a hard decision, but we made the decision to pivot, and we rebuilt the software specifically for employees. And since we've launched it, the need is very, very big. It doesn't seem necessarily as sexy an idea as crowdsourcing sometimes, but for us, it's a great business fit, and there's a big problem that we're solving in the market.
Yeah, and to build on the economics of that a little bit, in order to crowdsource an audit, you have to pay a consumer, let's say, $5 or some sort of credit in order to do one thing in a store. These reps are usually hitting anywhere between 10 and 12 stores a day, and it's part of their job. So we're basically taking this activity and leveraging the networks that they have relationships with, and that also the people have expertise on exactly what to collect in the store. It can begin to get a little esoteric when you begin to talk about facings and competitive mix and end caps versus other display locations in the store. So we really found that leveraging the networks that already exist in that broader retail ecosystem is a highly scalable way to get even more data for a lower price point.
So let me make sure I understand, if I could say in a sentence, you do mobile data collection of merchandising data?
Yes.
Yep.
So-
Merchandisers actually use, or field teams use our software.
Well, merchandising has
Right.
to do with how things are
Of course,
placed,
of
et cetera.
course.
Well, there's an entire industry that does this. It's called mystery shop. And while mystery shop, they have relationships with customers and they send people in, they could as easily send in reps. I don't quite understand why you don't even discuss mystery shop as a competitor, because they could clearly be fast followers. I'm missing it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So again, just looking at the economics. So we started in the mystery shopping business. That's really what we were crowdsourcing. Typically anywhere from $20 to $35 per store check, right? So it can be incredibly expensive for the people, for those third parties to send people in the stores to do that activity. So what we've done is we've gone direct to the brands, so the field sales reps, to the wholesalers, to the distributors, to the network of people that are already working or have a relationship with these companies. And by giving them a very easy to use data collection app, and one that's also GPS based, time stamped, they have photos, they can collect all this data already, and it actually displaces the need for mystery shopping.
Yeah, no, I get that it's different. I just don't know why they can't really be very, very fast followers, because they already have the relationship with a lot of the retailers. So why can't they develop, I mean, they do have mobile software.
Right,
so.
actually they're a potential target opportunity for us. There's a potential partner that's a mystery shopping company, right? They have reps out there, so anyone in the field could use our software. We've done so much research, we know they still use clipboards a lot, right? So that's a potential target. But we're focusing on businesses that have their own distributed network. They may use mystery shopping separately because that's a different workflow that they're trying to get data back on, but the workflow that we're optimizing is one that already exists, and we're basically just optimizing the paper form submission that they're doing.
Further, just to also build on that, it's where their expertise is in operations and sending people to stores, right? And where our expertise is in software. So they may have some of the relationships, but what we've proven so far is that we can get into the big companies, we can build relationships, and we can sell our product. Where we're going to have an advantage is that, I give any mystery shopping company a run to develop versus our development team on building a great software product, and I think that's really our core competency, and that's what we're really focusing on.
I've worked with some of these retail groups before that do these store checks, and it's very fragmented, and there's a lot of small companies out there that retailer or brand will hire to go out and do the store checks. How do you reach those people, and how do you close those sales and start generating revenue?
Yeah, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so again, we focus more on the companies that have their own distributed field team as opposed to using third parties. We do have a couple customers that have their Crossmark reps or whatever use our product. We focus on the companies that have their own reps. And more, even the smaller companies are beginning to build their own field teams, even if they're only 5 people or something. So some of our customers have 5 people, some of them have thousands, like Pepsi, right? And the kind of the strategy for going after those customers is slightly different, right?
Yeah.
What were you going to say something?
Oh yeah, well, I just can also build like the ABI example, right? So like ABI obviously has a tremendous wholesaler and distributor network, like literally in the thousands, the number of distributors and wholesalers that work with them. What they can say is use GoSpotcheck to do your store checks. And that's literally what's happening now. So if you look at our ABI account, we're well over 1,000 users. Many of those users have email addresses at different companies. So that's why we focus so much on these influential accounts that Sam mentioned earlier, because they are the ones that can actually help champion our product and distribute it down to the people, those smaller fragmented businesses that are in the market.
So $25 per month per user.
On average.
1.8 million reps. So $300 a year. How does that get to $2 billion?
So the way we look at it is, really where is this going and versus where it is today. So our entry point, I think at $25 a user a month is low. So if we look at Salesforce, right, entry point is about $65 a month up to well over $300 a month. So our pricing plan is to get up well above, right around $100 per user a month at scale, and that's for those additional features that Sam alluded to earlier. So we're talking about role-based access, advanced reporting, and additional workflows that we can build into the product, where we believe we can drive higher value on a per-seat level, but also higher value on that data that we're providing to those customers.
What happens to the data that's collected? Do you guys have any ownership over the data? Why not?
It'd be great, but
but
that's obviously a big selling point for them.
But even for the customer, where does that data exist? Is it in the cloud? Is it in their system? Where does it exist?
Yeah, it's all stored in the cloud. So we use Heroku and we use Amazon Web Services. It's all stored there, highly secure. We don't take ownership over any of the data. This allows them to access it at any time. We've never had to set up an instance on a company's servers, and we haven't even been asked about it yet. I think the other trend that's obviously growing is enterprises moving more towards SaaS solutions and being okay with the cloud and knowing that there are some standards out there that do protect the data and make sure that it's safe.
So
When
you'd
you
mentioned,
and you don't get it. When you described your team, you said, "Gosh, you're great," but I didn't hear why is Sam a great sales lead, or why are you? What's your backgrounds that convince me that you're great in these roles?
Sure. So I think to some extent for Sam, the proof's in the pudding, right? Getting with companies like Pepsi and AB InBev, Dan and Norwegian Cruise Line. This just shows that I think you have to have some great skill in order to do that. So Sam's proven that with her success so far. In
and
selling.
to just build out on that, I have a retail background, I have my MBA in marketing, and I have a graduate degree in psychology as well.
My background is corporate finance at Johnson & Johnson, so I was there about 4 years doing various finance and business analytics activity.
What do you guys do when the user's in a no data environment? If they don't have a connection, what happens?
We have
then?
offline mode, so they can collect it offline.
Sync.
Okay.
Techstars, you came out of the Techstars program, 500.
I would swallow my pride, I would choke on the rinds, but the lack thereof would leave me empty inside. Swallow my doubt, turn it inside out, find nothing but faith in nothing.